Today we're checking out the Motion Factory Racing Footpegs, billet construction, and they have polymers in them to help dampen some of the shock as you're standing up riding your motorcycle. So these are going on my 2023 KTM 890 Adventure today. And inside the box they have obviously both of the footpegs. They have some extra components, some install instructions, and one of the things that kind of tripped me out is they include some extra parts in here if you're building the pegs from scratch or if you need to replace any parts on there. So we'll go through some of those examples here in a minute. The cool thing about these is the polymers in here have different duros. So installed in this is a 90 duro. They also have a 95 duro and an 80 duro. So as the number gets lower on the duros, the more squish it has to it. So if you want a softer feel, you'd go with the lower duros. A more rigid feel, you'd go with the higher duros. So some of the tools that you'll need to install these pegs with: decent set of pliers, super easy. I would recommend an extra cotter pin or two. The factory cotter pins on these bikes are very difficult to remove, and if you get them twisted at all, you won't be able to reuse them. So extra cotter pins. Then you need your favorite flavor of hammer. We're just going to use a framing hammer, and then we're going to use a 5mm socket just to punch the foot peg pin out. Then to grab that peg, what we use is a rag so we don't scuff that up. And that's about all the tools that you need. On the inside of the box, it goes through an extra long list of tools. All it is a few different sockets and Allens that you could need if you're going to completely build these foot pegs from scratch. But since these foot pegs are already put together, all we need are some basic tools. Inside the box, you also get this extra spindle. So if you needed to replace this or install it, you come from the end, you remove the dust cap, the spindle threads into the foot peg mount like this, then the foot peg slips over it. On the bottom, you have the bushing bolt. The bushing bolt just holds the polymer bushing in. So you just remove that and you can put whatever duro bushing you want on there if you want a more rigid feel or if you want a softer feel. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is remove this cotter pin, and this washer is going to come out. Obviously this is a new cotter pin because the old one got a little bit mangled. Then you're going to take your hammer and just lightly tap this up. Now once it goes into there, this has a hole in it. It's a hollow bolt, so using a 5mm socket just to lightly tap it through. It doesn't require any crazy pressure or anything like that. And it will help retain that spring when it comes out. Then what we're going to do is take a rag, put a rag over this so we don't scratch it up too bad, a pair of pliers, and we're just going to work this out. Alright, so the pin is out. Remove our socket, the spring goes flying across the garage. Then we'll just grab our new peg. So now the hardest part of this whole process is just going to be getting this spring back in here oriented appropriately. So we're going to fit it into the back of this peg first, and then this side is going to have the tension on it, the inside. So once you have the spring lined up, all you're going to do is push it into place. Alright, so now all we're going to do is take this cotter pin and this washer. The washer goes on the bottom first. The cotter pin slides right in. And then all you're going to do is bend the cotter pin around so it doesn't fall out. This is a long cotter pin, so we'll just clip the ends off it and we're good to go.